Hey everybody, today we're going to do this part 2 video of the prototyping. We've got the laser cut fabric here. This is the design that we did in the part 1 of the video in Inkscape. We're going to do the physical prototyping today. This is meant to be a battery pack holder for this 3D printed battery pack. Holds 4 AA's and some CR123s. The lid goes on like that. And previously we just had this velcroed to the back of the helmet and kind of strapped in with shock cord, but this is going to be a holder for it. This is going to go in the middle section. This is going to get folded up. We're going to do some elastic on the side here, velcro obviously, and then this top part gets folded over it. So it's going to look kind of like that. And then these here are going to allow you to shock cord it to the helmet. In future prototypes, we might do some sort of grommet or eyelet in there to make it more secure. Kind of noticed this is pretty close to the edge here. You might need to go in just a little bit, but that's what the prototyping process is all about. Okay, so the back is going to need some hook Velcro. So we've got this right here. And then this bottom flap also going to need some hook Velcro. And then this top flap is going to need some loop Velcro so that when it goes over, it sticks to this hook right here, so like that. So we're gonna get this cut and sewn on first, and then we're gonna do the elastic. I think that's gonna be the order of operations, is getting the Velcro in the places that it needs to be, and then this 1-inch elastic is just gonna be, just tagged right here to there, and that'll be what kind of holds this part shut. This being a prototype, we're not being super precise on this. Just want to make sure it gets Velcroed on. So we got these 2 patches of Velcro. They're not the exact size. Like I said, prototype V1. For the actual, final, we'll laser cut a perfect sized Velcro patch for each of these sections here. All right, we've got the 3 sections of Velcro. This is going on this side. This is going on the back side, facing away from it. And then this is going right up top for the fold over piece. Okay, here's what it looks like so far. We've got the Velcro attached. It's actually the wrong side, my bad. So it would come up like this, and then this would fold over. Already forgot that we should have put a pull tab right here, sewn in between this and the Velcro. So obviously that was an oversight. We will make sure we do that on version 2. And let's see. The top flap probably doesn't need to be this large. It kind of goes over a little bit. Still, room. We don't want this like super tight, but it's definitely a little bit larger than it needs to be, I think. Okay, Let's do the elastic now. For this side piece here, we just want an elastic to kind of bridge this and keep it that way. Keep this from sliding, you know, out the sides. It's about a 1-inch gap, and we need some seam allowance. Obviously this gets folded over, sewed to the side, and then sewed to the other side, kind of similar to how we did some of the pouches earlier. I have a hot wire I'm going to cut this with so that it, you know, kind of cinches the ends and we don't have to worry about fraying. So I'm going to do probably 2.5 inches. That gives us some room to flip it over and sew it twice. All right, these are the melted edges of the elastic, cutting with the hot wire. Definitely recommend using that so you don't get fraying, although this is going to get folded over and sewed. Okay, now it's time to use the elastic to join the two sides. These were entirely too long. I shaved off 1/2 inch from each side. This will get folded over on itself and then stitched right there to the side. So we've got the kind of bridge between these two, and it's only about a little over 1 inch. Kind of the same as these bottom, you know, these are 1-inch squares. All right, let's get that stitched together, and you just want to make sure that these two sides are, you know, matching up right there. Okay, we're done with this stage of the prototyping. Got those elastic sides sewn in. A little bit of stretch to this overall. Got the boxy kind of pouch going. Got the Velcro on the back to stick to the helmet. Velcro to stick to the, you know, the flap. Battery pack, battery holder goes in. It's not a battery pack for an actual MYOG device, just battery storage. Overall, the fit's okay. These bridges on the bottom could probably be a little bit smaller, but that's what prototyping is all about. I'm just kind of figuring this stuff out. It could probably be a little bit shorter. Oops, sorry. Could probably be a little bit shorter. Flap probably doesn't need to be as big. I was just kind of making all of the sections of this the same size, but that can definitely be adjusted. Let's do a test fit on a helmet. Obviously we need a little pull tab, and then we'll figure these out for the next version. Probably put them in just a smidge, maybe do a grommet, make them more secure. But overall, not bad for just kind of designing this off the cuff. Okay, got the back of the helmet here. I've got some comms cables and some shot cord kind of here. We're gonna have to slap this on. Out right there. It's about as low as it will go. Gonna slap these up here. I need to get these comms cables out of the way and put them on the ears themselves. Overall, not a bad fit. These little ear holes can get shot corded, you know, to something here, or like a little clip, you know. that's kind of what it looks like from the side. You can see the battery pack, and even with just the Velcro, I mean, it's not going anywhere, but it's always good to have spots to, you know, tie it down or tension it down. And then also it gets kind of, you know, shock corded to the helmet, or, you know, just pressure there. And when you need batteries, just flip it open. Got some batteries. Cool, not bad for a V1. Definitely some improvements could be made, but we'll work on that in a future video.